There's certainly no surprises or shocks, and that's a good thing in the current environment. I think we shouldn't underestimate the capacity of a minority government to get through a package of budget measures that keeps the public finances improving and keeps a little bit of a boost to the Irish economy.
Well, one thing I'm pleased about is the focus on entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs' relief. Although it is rather small, it is an indication that we have to encourage that end of the industry, considering that we're facing into a Brexit situation. So we need to encourage that type of industry and encourage entrepreneurs to take on new businesses and get the benefits from that.
What the budget does in terms of Brexit, it gives a little bit of support to the economy. It reduces income taxes. It avoids really silly measures in terms of raising excise duties on alcohol or fuel that would encourage cross-border shopping. And importantly as well, at the margin, I think the fact that there isn't any attempt to claw back the USC rate cuts for those earning above 70,000 in the context of Brexit and what it means for investment in Ireland in the future, I think that's quite a good signal.
The budget was disappointing from a small business perspective, certainly in terms of the Minister stating that he had brought in Brexit-proof measures. We don't think enough was done. So we'll certainly be going back to discuss with government issues around the currency crisis and how small companies are really struggling in terms of their margins having been depleted. And what we really need to see is a scheme that will actually enable those companies to survive while they diversify.
The FDI community will be pretty happy with the budget. They weren't expecting much. They love to hear that the 12.5% tax rate does have strong government support, and they got that.
It certainly will provide certainty in relation to the Ireland's position on international tax. The Minister for Finance was extremely clear on the 12.5%. Government published an international tax strategy update. I think that will be very welcome by investors. And the areas that government has focused on are areas that also impact on investors, including residential property, including education. So from that perspective, it will be welcome.
I think the focus will have been on personal tax, though. Anything that reduces the rate broadly is going to be a help. They were looking to see whether anything would happen on share schemes, and again that's been kind of kicked out till next year and doesn't look like it's going to extend to the multinational community. And they were also looking at what was going on around special assignment relief programme. They'll welcome the fact that that's going to be extended out for another 2 years. There are some people who would like it to be more generous, but this is the start of a budget process and we can always see what happens next year.
I think a lot of the measures in the budget yesterday were quite small, but it was good to see some improvement in terms of the income limits for the rent-a-room relief, which should help alleviate some of the pressures in the rental sector. Also the resumption of the mortgage interest relief from 75% up to 80% and incrementally up again over the next few years. All of these little measures combined with the measures that Simon Coveney is going to bring in through the new housing report should eventually try to help to alleviate the big pressures that are there from the supply side.
I think it was useful to see the reaffirmation of the 12.5% rate. I think that the paper that his department published, setting out what our position is on international tax, will help us manage that internationally. Individually, I think it's quite easy to be disappointed with each part. He went perhaps too far in spending in relation to the overall economy. He didn't go far enough in relation to competitiveness. But when you take them all together, I think it was a realistic budget. I think the priority now is to get it passed and to deal with the challenges.